Tri-Cade Yuma. Pumping and banging and driving the wheels off them. Oh, yeah, we're looking forward to that tonight. And, hey, the ladies are going to get in on the action, too. A very good Saturday to you, and welcome to Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, brought to you by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating. Racing Radio here on Outlaw Country AM 1400. I'm your host, Mike Stanhope, and thank you so much for joining us today, a special race day edition of Laptime Live, as we get set for round number 7 of the 2013 Cocopah Speedway Racing Series. All 5 local divisions in action tonight, plus Powder Puff action for the ladies on top of it. It seems like every time this year we've said the action can't outdo itself anymore. Well, the men and women competing go out and do just that. The action gets hotter and hotter. And one of the men in the thick of all the action is Captain Henry B., driver of the number 87 Street Stock. He'll be joining us in just a few minutes to talk about his experiences up to now in the 2013 season. First, a final quick recap of last week's race action, which of course featured the AMSOIL USAC CRA non-wing sprint cars in 2 nights of action. And, well, those 2 nights of action wound up being dominated by the Demon, Damian Gardner. Gardner from out of Concord, California, tied A.J. Foyt, Dave Steele, and Brian Clausen as the winningest USAC drivers in Arizona history. Those wins out at Cocopah Speedway last Saturday were his 7th and 8th here in the Grand Canyon State. Friday found Gardner leading Team Alexander to a 1-2 finish. He beat Nick Foss to the checkered flag, leading all 30 laps, mostly working the upper groove and the cushion to beat Foss. Defending Series King Mike Spencer, Bud Kading, and Charles Davis Jr. Foss, by the way, out of Huntington Beach, had earlier on Friday set a new 1-lap track record at Cocopah Speedway, clocking in at 16.451 seconds to shave more than 0.3 of a second off of the old mark. On Saturday night, it was a battle early on as 3-time USAC Silver Crown champion Bud Kading got off to the early lead in a team car provided by Yuma's Mike Martin. Gardner, though, caught Kading on lap number 7, dropped it down low for a slide job, and led the final 24 laps to beat Kading to the flag. Spencer, Foss, and R.J. Johnson rounded out the top 5. And one final tip of the hat to Martin as well, who picked up a Saturday night heat win after damaging the right side of his number 16 machine in a Friday night encounter with the outer wall. Those back-to-back wins here, by the way, gave Gardner the season points lead as the USAC CRA Series headed out of Yuma. Now, also in action last Friday night at Cocopah Speedway, the Napa Auto Parts Factory Stocks, where Yuma's Jordan White in the number 86 raced off to his 3rd straight feature win. White waging a fierce battle with Yuma's Miles Morris in the number 3. Both drivers taking turns at the front of the field, working both high and low as they battled. After a couple of mid-race cautions, with White ultimately pulling away for the win despite a slipping transmission. That win, by the way, Jordan White's factory stock leading 4th feature of the year. The Fisher Automotive Street Stocks were also on the card for the Saturday night action last weekend, where a couple of brand new cars debuted, one of them very successfully, as Alpine, California's Mike Harlan drove off to the win in his number 7 Street Stock, making a couple of slick moves early on to get to the point and then motoring off for the win. Harlan, a happy man in victory lane.
Yeah, finally a win. Been chasing the Daffrin boys and Adolfo Noriega for quite some time, and was hoping that the new card put me in the winner's circle, and it did. So, and special thanks to Jet Racing, John at Jet, for putting together.
Again, Mike Harlan from out of Alpine, California, taking the Saturday night feature out at Cocopah Speedway last week. And as you likely read in yesterday's Yuma Sun, a number of drivers getting an early start on the transition to the IMCA stock rules, which will come fully into effect for the street stocks in 2015. Manny Baldavias debuted another new car last Saturday night to go along with several other competitors who were also getting a head start on that changeover. Was talking with the Yuma Sun's Randy Haft about the 2 new cars. Haft noted that Harlan and Baldavias, who were neighbors, drove 29 hours each way to Nebraska and back a couple of weeks ago to pick up those new cars. That, my friends, is some dedication. Well, as we get set for racing tonight, a quick recap now of your points leaders in each of the divisions running tonight. First, in the Napa Auto Parts Factory Stocks, it is Miles Morris of Yuma on top in the points. Alpine, California's Wayne Rebello in the 2 spot with Jason Bashir's third, Rick Hibbert in the fourth position, and Matthew Sherrar rounding out the top five in the Napa Auto Parts factory stocks. In the Fisher Automotive street stocks, it is Brawley's Stephen Daffern on top in the points, 6 points back of him. Yuma's Adolfo Noriega with the aforementioned Mike Harlan from out of Alpine, now into the third position with Baldavillas from out of Chula Vista and Jimmy Davey rounding out the top five. Our guest today, Captain Henry B., sits sixth in the points in the Fisher Automotive street stocks. Next up in the IMCA Northern Sport Mods, it is Ty Rogers on top in the points. Rogers so far 6 for 6 in feature event action this year. Brawley's Cody Daffern in the number 2 spot with Yuma's James Dupre sitting third in the points. Timmy Reese and Brian Kerwin, both of Yuma, rounding out your top five. In the pro stocks, a tight battle continues. It's Brett Samala still on top in the points as he has a 5-point lead over Lakeside, California's Mike Lurwell. Joe Haynes in the number 3 position with Brawley's Roy Daffern in the 4th spot and Brawley's Jason Higginbottom rounding out the top 5 in the pro stocks. And finally, in the full-blown IMCA Modifieds, a tight race as well with a brand new points leader as Brawley's Russell Allen now heads the points in the IMCA Modifieds. Allen yet to see victory lane in 2013, but has ridden very consistent performances to the season points lead. Prior points leader Lance Maury from out of Imperial now back into the number 2 spot with Imperial Steve McCullough sitting third. It is Yuma's Bobby Horton now climbing in the standings. He holds down the number 4 spot, and defending series champion Dwayne Rogers is in the number 5 position. And that sets us up for competition as we close in on tonight's round number 7 of the 2013 Cocopah Speedway Racing Series out at the Diamond in the Desert. Next here on Laptime Live, we get set to talk with the captain, as in Captain Henry B. Looking forward to again being in the thick of the street stock action tonight, and he will join us next. It's Racing Radio, Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, presented by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating. And we'll be back with more in just a moment here on Outlaw Country AM 1400.
No matter what type of air conditioning or heating help you need, schedule some help from 1 Hour Air Conditioning. Ready for the season? 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating can help. No AC at all? 1 Hour can help. Need help upgrading your old inefficient system? 1 Hour can help. Now's the time to schedule your annual air conditioning safety inspection for just $59. Call 1 Hour today at 783-4242. Some limitations and exclusions apply.
We're always on time, but you don't pay your time.
Cocopah Speedway. Fun. Local stars racing under Arizona skies. See your favorite drivers this Saturday night. Fast cars, fresh air, food, fun for the whole family. Tickets on sale now at the Cocopah Casino gift shop and local area Napa stores. Gates open at 5 p.m. Cocopah Speedway. The fastest way to family fun. US 95 and County 15 and at CocopahSpeedway.com.
Electrical work can be needed for a whole variety of situations. Let Specialty Electric help you with all the various types of electrical work in your home. It's good to have a team of professionals who can bring your home to life. Specialty Electric not only does residential work, but does quality commercial work as well. Serving Yuma for over 30 years, Specialty Electric will be there every step of the way to ensure you'll get the quality work you deserve. For all of your electrical needs, day or night, call Specialty Electric, 783-3086, where quality is our specialty.
Hey, man, what do you have there?
It's one of those new scratchers from the Arizona Lottery. Cash Bonanza.
Why are you saying it like that?
Like what? Cash Bonanza.
Yeah, where is that sound coming from? You are creeping me out right now.
That's just Cash Bonanza. It's the new $10 ticket that can win you up to $1 million instantly. So, Cash Bonanza.
Right, the new Cash Bonanza from the Arizona Lottery.
You can't win if you don't play.
And welcome back to Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, presented by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating here on Outlaw Country, AM 1400. Hey, we're looking forward to lots of side-by-side action tonight out at the Diamond in the Desert, specifically the Cocopah Speedway Racing Series, with action tonight in all 5 local divisions. And as noted at the top of the show, the ladies will be back at it again in the Powder Puff as well. And joining us now, today's special guest, the captain captain, Captain Henry B., driver of the number 87 Street Stock. And Henry, a real pleasure to have you with us here today.
Well, great. It's great to be here, Mike, and it's great to be a part of this great racing organization that we do have here in Yuma. And I sure hope people are enjoying it as much as the racers are.
Well, Henry, we are ever so glad to see you in action out at Cocopah Speedway, and I've got to ask a question of you. When we first met face-to-face, and I had seen you race before that, and I've always known you as Captain Henry B., and you told me, Mike, just keep calling me that. The last name's too hard to pronounce. I got to know. How do you pronounce it?
Well, the name is tough to pronounce if you just look at it, but it's easy to say, and it's Buijnorouski.
Well, Henry, thank you for clearing that up for us. I think I'm going to stick with Captain Henry B., though.
Yeah, most people do.
All righty. Well, hey, you were there at the beginning when Cocopah Speedway reopened just a couple of short years ago. First in the Pro Stocks. How did that come about?
Well, you know what? When I first went shopping for a car, I really didn't have any background in dirt track racing. My previous racing had been street racing, and then I got into formula racing. So when I started looking for a car, I did what a lot of people do, is you get excited about watching somebody else race and then decide to go out and buy a car. And so I got online, shopped around, found a car, went up and picked it up and brought it back. Took it out to the track expecting to race it, and found that it didn't qualify for a street stock class because had a 4-barrel carburetor on it, had different heads that weren't allowable in street stock, so they made me race pro stock, which eventually turned out to be a really good deal because I got a lot of seat time, got familiar with the car, having never raced on dirt before. It was a new experience, and I actually like it. I like that class. It's a fast class. There's not as many cars. You get a chance to put the metal to the pedal and take advantage of what track conditions you get.
Well, you've settled in nicely now in the street stocks, but I have to ask, based on what you just said, would the pro stocks be something you'd consider in the future?
Well, you know, I like the action in the street stocks. It's a lot more competitive. Not saying that the pro stocks aren't, but you're racing against a lot more cars, and there's a lot more quick decisions that you have to make. And, you know, on any given night, there's 10 fast cars out there that any one of those 10 cars could finish first with just enough of the right opportunity. You know, if you make a mistake now, as I did the last 2 weekends, and got up too close to the wall, as soon as I got up to the wall, 5 cars passed me. And at one point I was running probably 4th, and ended up 9th, right within 2 seconds of one wrong mistake. So we've got a lot of fast cars, and you know what? The quality of our drivers has really improved. Guys are getting more seat time. They're getting used to the cars. They're getting used to the track. And by the way, Les Evans has done a tremendous job on preparing our track. We haven't had a hole in 2 and 4, between 3 and 4, for about 5 races now. And I talked to Les the other night after the race, and he says they're going to be trying some new chemicals on the track to even make it a better track surface to race on.
Something we look forward to, and in terms of talking about up to 10 cars any given race that are capable of getting to the front and going off to the win. The fun factor of that, the back and forth, has just got to be off the charts for you in the cockpit.
Well, it really is. You know, you've got to make a decision on where you want to put your car and what the cars in front of you are doing, and you've got to learn what the drivers that are in the cars in front of you might do. I picked up a couple of moves that a typical driver is going to do each time he goes into the corner, and I just wait him out. I know he's going to do a particular move, and I take advantage of it and try to take a position from him. You can't pass everybody on the straightaway. All the cars are pretty equal when you hit the straightaway. It's in the corners and in picking your spot in the corner where you make up the most lap time on your competitors.
Do you have a particular line that you most prefer to take when you're out racing, particularly in the corners, or is that something that, you know, you'll make a decision on based upon what the track conditions are like on an individual night?
Well, you know, you really have to learn to read the track, and those of you that watch Bobby Horton race, he's done an excellent job of picking the fastest part of the track, and I try to watch what drivers like Bobby do so that I know where I can expect to get the best traction out of my car. I will sometimes go a little high, and when I have, I've gotten too close to the wall. And then sometimes when you get down too low, if it's not the right surface area, you end up sliding up into the cars outside of you. So it's all based on being able to read the track. And as I get more seat experience, I'm doing a better job of reading the track and finding the best track line.
And again, coming back to seat time and with the level of competition going up as well, I'm sure everybody is taking away new things each and every week.
Oh, I'm sure they are. You know, we get, I would say the top 10 cars, maybe top 11 cars out on the track, we kind of are getting used to racing with each other. And we kind of, well, of course, we all try to make sure we don't get into each other, you know, slide up on somebody or put somebody into the wall or hit them from behind. But we get used to what the other drivers are doing, and we kind of expect them to be in a certain position on the track, and most people are pretty consistent. The only time we have a problem is when we get a new driver that hasn't raced with us before, doesn't know the track, and comes out and gets all over the track, and you can't predict where they're going to be. One time they're going to be high, one time they're going to be low, and a lot of times those guys end up spinning out and maybe taking another car with them.
Part of the challenge of adapting from race to race. Captain Henry B. is our special guest on this race day edition of Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live Racing Radio here on Outlaw Country AM 1400, brought to you by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating. And we'll be back with more in just a moment.
Are you concerned about rising healthcare expenses when you retire? Do you have a plan in place to maximize your Medicare benefits? Yuma Investment Group Wealth Management will hold an educational seminar on Medicare planning. We will show how Medicare enrollment periods work and how to avoid late enrollment penalties. We will discuss how Medicare works with private insurance to maximize your coverage. Please join us at the Yuma County Main Library on Tuesday, April 9th or Wednesday, May 8th at 6 p.m. Call 928-329-1700 to reserve a spot today. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC.
Thank you, Yuma, for voting Sign Pro Yuma's best sign and banner shop for 2012. Remember Sign Pro for all your sign needs, like vehicle graphics, magnetics, and custom stickers, and more. Call 783-7776 or stop by Sign Pro today. And thanks again for voting us Yuma's best sign and banner shop.
Hi, I'm Les Clark, and I've got a new home on your radio dial. Tune in Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for Outlaw Talk live and local from 6 to 8 a.m. Outlaw Talk is a great forum for local, state, and national issues, ranging from immigration to gun laws and everything in between. I'd love to take your calls, too. You can call 782-4321 and share your thoughts. It's Outlaw Talk on Outlaw Country, 6 to 8 a.m., Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I hope you'll join me.
Teenage fans are invited to Yuma County Libraries on Saturday, May 4th to celebrate the comic book, an original American art form created in the early 20th century. There will be contests, gaming, movies, and, of course, comic books. There is no charge to attend. Find out what's happening at your local library at yumalibrary.org. Please note that this event is for teens only. Young adults ages 12 to 19 are welcome to attend. Free Comic Book Day is sponsored by the Friends of Yuma County Libraries Incorporated, Community Matters, to Z93, and Outlaw Country.
Welcome back to Laptime Live, the official racing radio show of Cocopah Speedway, presented by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating. And our special race day guest, once again, Captain Henry B., driver of the number 87 Street Stock. I want to go back to your racing origin just a little bit. Henry, any prior experience before starting at Cocopah Speedway? And then related to that, how would you relate that experience of getting involved in racing to somebody who might be listening to us today who wants to get involved, wants to get into a car?
Well, you know, I have to thank my wife for actually getting me back into racing. For one of my birthdays, she bought me one of those Richard Petty driving experiences at Las Vegas. And, you know, she knew I had an interest in racing. And so we went up to Las Vegas, and they put you through a nice little course, teach you what to do on the track, where to be on the track, and then they put you into a car. And my experience was pretty interesting. I like fast cars, and I like the speed that comes with it. And so you have a pace car in front of you that controls your speed. And so we came out of the pits and came onto the backside of the track. And I was into fourth gear, and I was probably at about 100 miles an hour. And then right in front of me down the backstretch, there was two long, dark, black tire marks that went straight into the wall. And I thought, my God, what am I doing? And one of the things they teach you in that class is to trust your car. And so we proceeded on. We got up to probably 125, 130. By the third lap, I was pushing the guy because it's a really neat experience to feel a perfectly set up car on a track, on an asphalt or hard surface track, doing probably 140 miles an hour. It's a big thrill. So we came back from that, and I immediately got interested in racing, and I made the mistake that a lot of people do. Is that, as I said, I went out and bought the wrong car. I got into formula racing because I'd met somebody that was into formula racing. He had a team, and he thought I should race formula racing cars. So I did that for a few years. And then when I moved here to Phoenix, David White had opened the track, and I went out to watch a friend race. And I started watching. I go, I think I could do that. And I got interested in it. And once again, I did another mistake. I went out and bought the wrong car for a 4-hour track. And but I brought it out. I raced it in Pro Stock the first year. And then with the help of Scott Jeffries and Bobby Horton and a few other people, they got my car set up so that it would be competitive. I think that if somebody is sitting up in the stands and they have an interest in doing it, and we would all love to have more cars out on the track, they should come down into the pits after the race is over, because the pits are open, and talk with us. Talk to Scott. He can help you get a car. He can tell you what to get. Talk to any of the drivers, Adolfo, Pat Stubbs, Reese. Just a dozen people are all excited about racing, would like to have more cars out there. One of the things that we want to have is safe cars, safe drivers. So if you get the right car in the first place, get some help getting it set up like I did, then you really enjoy racing, and it's a lot of fun to get out there and mix it up with the other cars.
You're talking about relationships. We often think very, very strongly about the relationships that exist within the racing community, both friends and family. And I know you've got many, and in fact, you've just mentioned some.
Yeah, it's surprising that everybody out is on the track, wants everybody to be safe. They want them to be fast. They want them to be competitive. And it's amazing how many friendships I developed in the pits just in the last 3 years. Because I didn't know any of these guys before I came to Yuma. And it's really great when you need some help. Like one time I had a problem with my ignition system, and David White dropped everything he was doing, came over, helped me get it squared away. I needed to get my engine in, and Rick Hibbard came over and helped me put my engine in. So, I mean, it's a tremendous relationship that you build with everybody on the track. It's a great experience.
We had noted earlier in the program that you've been with us at Cocopah Speedway since the reopening. Any thoughts on the facility and the continuing improvements we've seen over the course of the past 2 years, 2.5 years?
Well, it is really the diamond of the West. If you've been to any other track in Arizona or California and come to our track and see the facilities that we have, it's phenomenal. We've got, Greg has done a great job with getting the track with new seating in, all cement bleachers. We've got a larger refreshment stand. We've got Les out there taking care of the track, putting in the best race service we've got. We've got great officials out there. They're very efficient. They make some minor improvements all the time, and they make it a great experience for not only the fans, but for people come out and race. It's like Mike and Manny. They started coming out here about 2 years ago, I guess, and just on a once-in-a-while basis, they've been racing at Verona, and they don't even race at Verona anymore. They're just out here racing with us. And we get people that come in from out of town for just one race, and they go, wow, this is really a nice facility. They can't wait to come back.
And certainly looking forward to hopefully seeing those numbers continue to build all the way around, both fans and racers as well. And that's certainly been the experience over the past 2 years.
Well, it has. We've had up to 24 cars in the street stock division on a particular night. And that's a lot of cars to have racing. And it just shows you that we started out with probably 10 or 15 cars, and it's grown to quite a number. Now, there's quite a few cars that have been banged up and have not returned to the track, and there's several cars out there that aren't racing right now, trying to get the IMCA modifications made so that they can come back in the fall and be a bigger threat than they are now.
Henry, just about out of time on today's program, but want to just open this up here. Any special supporters, friends, family, associates that you'd like to particularly acknowledge at this time?
Well, you know, sponsors are really important to all the racers. I've been fortunate. Bobby Brooks at Brownies has supported me since the beginning. Sherry out at Daybreakers is supporting me, and I've had several sponsors that have come and gone in the past. And, you know, people think that you've got to spend thousands of dollars to help sponsor a car. You know, even $25 a race is a great help to any racer that's out there, whether it's me or somebody else. It does cost quite a bit to keep a car on the track and keep it competitive, and we really appreciate all the sponsors. Some of the cars have big sponsors with big bucks, and those cars are faster. And then some of the smaller cars that are out there competing sure could use the help. So we appreciate all the support that we get from all the sponsors out there, and I especially appreciate the sponsorships that I get from Brownies and Daybreakers. So if you go in there, make sure you tell them you heard it on Race Time.
Henry B., our special guest, the captain, here on Laptime Live with us today. Henry, an absolute pleasure to have you in with us today.
Well, thanks. I appreciate being here, and I'm glad to see that our organization keeps growing, and you're doing a great job at the track. We really appreciate the things that you say about us.
Oh, well, I certainly thank you for that as well, Henry. And Henry, one of the drivers we'll be looking forward to seeing in action tonight out at the Diamond in the Desert. The captain, just one of the many stars of the 2013 Cocopah Speedway Racing Series, getting set for action tonight. Now, remember, all 5 local divisions in the running: the Napa Auto Parts Factory Stocks, the IMCA Northern Sport Mods, the Fisher Automotive Street Stocks, the Pro Stocks, and, of course, the full-blown IMCA Modifieds, along with Powder Puff action for the ladies tonight. Hey, make it easier on yourself getting out to the track. Pre-sale tickets available at Yuma area Napa Auto Parts stores and also at the Cocopah Casino gift shop. Main gates will open at 5, opening ceremonies at 7 p.m., and lots of full-bodied race action to follow on what's shaping up to be another absolutely gorgeous race night here in the Yuma area. As you make your plans for tonight, we'll also remind you that shuttle buses between Cocopah Casino and Cocopah Speedway will be running as they are during each and every event in 2013. Easy access. You can just park over at the casino, maybe enjoy a late lunch, early dinner, and then hop on board the bus to come on over to the Speedway. It's also a great way to beat the after-exit rush. You can find out more about tonight's race action by visiting Cocopah Speedway on the internet. Just log in to www.cocopahspeedway.com and make sure to like us on Facebook. And remember as well, when you're at the racetrack, you can bring the action even closer via the MyLaps application and also CocopahLive.com. Just using your smartphone or your cell-enabled tablet, you can access live lineups, scoring, and results. Again, you can hook up through CocopahLive.com and at MyLaps.com, or both applications through the main Cocopah Speedway website. You've been listening to Laptime Live, presented by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating. And we'll be back with more next Saturday morning, 11 a.m., here on Outlaw Country, AM 1400.